Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Look at this cool deck. Isn't it cool? It's got 4 Sprite dragons in it, 4 Death Shadows, 2 Dreadhorde Arcanists, that's the threat base, and 2 Unearths are basically threats. And then circa a billion 1 mana pieces of interaction. Bolts, Thought Seizers, Fatal Push, Serum Visions. Sleight of Hand is one that I'm not totally confident in being correct, but this list was put together by Ben Jones, who is the Death Shadow Master, so there must be a reason for that over Opt. Yeah, solid normal Death Shadow mana base, and obviously the star attraction in Lurrus. Lurrus has been everybody's favourite thing for some time. Got 2 Nile Spell Bombs and 4 Mishra's Baubles, as well as the creatures to buy back with it. Yeah, what's not to like? It's just full of cool cards. We're going to see how we get on. And hopefully get a couple of decent results. Hope everybody's well. Hope everybody's staying safe and sane and healthy and all the typical things. I've been itching to go outside and do stuff, and it's taken all my self-control not to. But obviously it would be irresponsible, so I try to do as I'm asked. Yep. Let's have a solid opener, preferably with a Sprite Dragon so we can test it out. Hope it's a Yorion deck. We do have a solid opener. You're going to have to keep a lot of one-landers with this deck, I think. I think that's not going to be uncommon. See if they've got a accelerant. They do. Personally, I think without Oko, the Goose is pretty much unplayable. Stubs. I don't want stubs. It's tough to know how to fetch. We've kind of got an even mix of colours. Now I'm going to bauble myself again. Bloodstain Mire, that's perfect. So kill the Goose and pass, I think. Draw a couple cards. Next turn we have to play the Arcanist, I think. We have to try and get it out in time to make a difference. The earlier it's down, the more work it will do. Abundant Growth. I hope that's their whole turn. Kind of. Been even better if they'd missed a land, but still. So what I don't really want is something like Small to Fairy Bounce, but we shall have to see. It's important to remember that we've got access to Lurrus. Maybe for that reason I shouldn't have fetched Steam Vents, but our hand was mostly red and blue. That was the tiebreaker. Sure, that's fine. Can handle that. We've got sideboard Cling to Dusts with Uro's name written all over them. They missed a land. This is great. And we didn't. This is also great. Oh. Oh shit! Didn't. So now the geese makes sense. We can answer Emery, but it turns on Uro. We've got really good answers to... Well, I get to take two things, so I think I'll just take both Urzas. I think. Because I'm going to give them access to Uro eventually by making them discard their whole hand. So that's their hand. They take one. Post combat, I'm going to cast Sleight of Hand, looking for a Death Shadow. Okay. So they don't really have a hand left, which is nice. We don't really have a life total, though, so it ain't all rosy. That's a great draw for them. They're going to play an Uro. We're going to bolt it and then get the bolt back with the Dread Horde. But even so, it just keeps the cards flowing for them, doesn't it? I really hope these companions don't become the norm, especially in paper. Just little things like having to deal with 80 card decks on a regular basis just seems really annoying. Can't really let that live. I don't really have to worry about card advantage because we've got the Dreadhorde Arcanist and Lurrus, so I'm using the two from hand in order to have the option of casting Sleight of Hand because I want to draw cards. I think I have to let that go. See who they target with their bauble. See if they'll let me go to combat. I imagine they won't. That was not deliberate. Man, I'm just having a really bad day in terms of things like that. Need to kill the Emery. Yeah, I'm really frustrated at the moment, if you can't tell, which is probably not good for making videos, so sorry about that. My friend was saying to me the other day that he thinks Mishra's Bauble is the logical next ban in Modern, which is probably not unreasonable. It's becoming very ubiquitous in all the strongest decks. It's becoming like, you know, the new key enabler, a bit like Faithless Looting or Mox Opal or Ancient Stirrings or whatever. Although I appreciate the Stirrings still hasn't gone yet, but I think also the clamour to get rid of Stirrings is reduced, so it's interesting. Sprite Dragon is good. Mystic Sanctuary, okay, well they do badly need mana. Take the Spell Bomb to protect Lurrus. Combat. Attack with everybody. Fatal Push the Uro. Sprite Dragon being big enough to turn Stubborn Denial is very good as well. And that's going to have to be it. So I don't have to be quite as scared about my life total. It was getting very low. But obviously now the Lurrus is gaining me small chunks. I need to also manage that though, because I don't want to end up back on like 15 and unable to cast Death Shadow. So they've nothing to get back with Mystic Sanctuary, which is nice. It's hard to say, but I think we might be pulling ahead. Okay. So we still know their whole hand. We can answer a cryptic really effectively. We'll be bolting the goose when we go to combat and drawing a card because of Lurrus. All these things are reasonable. This interaction is great. Everything about this is great. Target myself because I've got this polluted delta. Sprite Dragon. I think I'm happy to draw that. Bolt. Cook your goose. There's a lot of clicking. This is a very clicky deck. I wonder what opponent's tanking on. Maybe they're thinking of bouncing my Sprite Dragon or something, but I don't think I'd be too upset at that. Can just replay it. Yeah, just let that happen. Save the stubs for something that matters. Although the downside is that stubs is no longer like a hard counter. Gonna get my other Sprite Dragon. See what they decide to do. I don't really care if it's Uro or Yorion or what, because it should... I haven't done any maths, but it looks like it's got to be possible to kill them from here. It must be possible. Especially if they tap out of, like, activate food mana. Fine. Anything they're doing with their mana that isn't developing a board or gaining life is good for me, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana left. So they can't do too much. They can do Yorion or Cryptic or whatever their unknown is, or Uro, but not everything. I think it was... what's red in their deck? Galv Blast. Okay. That definitely makes my Sprite Dragons a lot worse. Something like Unearth is probably our best draw. TBR. It can't be bad, can it? TBH. Sorry. I think we can get to 9 from here. We can attack, flashback, bolt, and that should be enough on its own. And we've got the TBR if they somehow have something like a force of negation. No need to show them the TBR. Cool. Well, to win that, when we had that awkward turn where I somehow managed to skip doing anything, I'd say that's good. I want Stroke. Probably want Cling to Dust, and that's probably it. Do I want Spell Bombs? Maybe 1. No. We'll try just Cling to Dust for now. It's a new, exciting card. I want to see how strong it is. I got absolutely just browned by it fairly recently. You could watch that video if you want to watch me suffer. No, I'll play Stubbs. Dismember doesn't kill anything that my cheaper removal doesn't already kill, if that makes sense. Actually, it's not quite true. It kills exactly Yorion. Play 1. Inquisition seems much less good than Thoughtseize. Bolt. Yeah, that's fine. Go like that. This deck is cool, but it's quite mentally taxing, and the opponent's deck is mentally taxing to play against. So, yeah, I don't know what to say really, but it's fun to play. There's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. Yeah, I hope this doesn't become normal Magic. This seems really absurd. Like, the power level's crazy. It's very far from normal Magic in terms of the way it plays out, because one of the nice things that makes Magic kind of a leveler, like if you're mediocre and your opponent's very good but you outdraw them, that matters and stuff. But the kind of consistency that Lurrus and Bauble offer, or the incentive of playing something like Yorion is purely power level, isn't it? It's like 5 mana, 4/5 I always draw that draws me 6 cards or whatever. It's pretty good. But, yeah, it just seems a bit too consistent to me. Am I keeping this? Don't think so. It's close-ish. Definitely keeping this. I would absolutely love something to do on turn 1 that isn't Serum Visions. Kind of want to do all my cantripping with the Sprite Dragon in play, but at the same time, I'm not taking the turn off, and the Serum Visions might draw me into more cantrips anyway. Like, the best possible draw would be exactly Thoughtseize, wouldn't it? Suppose I could push the Goose, especially because the opponent's mulliganed. That's quite appealing. Go away, Lurrus. Hopefully that sets them back pretty far. I think the reason we won game 1 was that they had mana problems. Mishra's Bauble. Okay. I'm saving my fetches because I've got the lands to cast my spells, and I'm playing like infinite Mishra's Baubles now with Lurrus, so fetches are actually quite valuable. They're sort of half a scry, as people say, but they really are. Like, it's quite valuable. What's this, a removal spell? Or just a growth spiral or nothing? Growth spiral. Coatl. That's rude. Be a shame if I could recast it infinitely for free, wouldn't it? To be fair, that was still a good exchange for them, but like, who cares? We have Lurrus. That's why this is so stupid. Small to fairy? I don't know. Nope. Oko. Uro. Sorry. What's the diff? There's literally no difference. It's, you know, the meme where it says corporate needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture, and one is Oko and the other's Uro, and then the lady just says it's the same picture. That's kind of like, I think someone needs to make that meme with those two cards. Another goose? Fine. Do I have to bottom the bolt looking for a Cling to Dust, is the question. I think so. It's annoying knowing that there's an Uro in my very near future. But I think the goose is like the least of my concerns at the moment. As annoying as gaining modest amounts of life is, we'll overpower that eventually when we get set up with Dreadhorde and Lurrus. I can't imagine it's anything other than play the Uro. Like, it's face up, but it's still pretty scary from my side. Don't currently have a good answer to it. But I don't mind taking some damage. I'm about to play a Death Shadow. It's the it's the card advantage that's going to be slightly scary, but we have very strong engines of our own about to come online. I think a lot of people at the moment are just frustrated with the fact that all of the busted cards are always in not only blue or green, but like literally Simic. So, although it's not quite true, is it? Like Lurrus is not very Simic, but people will find a way to play them in the same deck, I'm sure. But yeah, no, they seem to be pushing a lot in terms of mana and card draw, which is, for anyone who's ever played Vintage Cube, it's all that matters in high power level formats. Okay. If I stubs it, I get one turn. It doesn't matter, I've got Lurrus. What am I worried about? Let's see if they decide to attack or not. I don't think they're supposed to. Well, it's tough. I don't really care about going down to 4 because I'm about to have like a 9/9. But I suppose they've got plenty of clean removal. Okay, what does that do for me? May I attack? No. Okay. There's no way for me to leave up a watery grave. I don't know what I was thinking. I wonder what they're thinking about now. It's annoying that they have a Death Touch blocker, but we will eventually draw something like a Bolt, which we can Arcanist and, go off with. Yep. The stubs is purely for something like a Cryptic that might kill me, or a Planeswalker maybe. Maybe another Engineered Explosives. That's also fine. I suppose they're making their Yorion better, which I can't counter, but whatever. Like I said before, their card advantage engine is good, but it's probably not better than mine. It's the big fucking massive flyer that's going to get me. Yep. This is going to draw them 3. Maybe make food. Hmm. So I can suicide the Dread Horde in order to fatal push Uro or Coatl. Don't think that any of that really helps. At the moment, the Sprite Dragon is chump blocking the Yorion, which doesn't feel great, but can go on indefinitely because we have Lurrus. Sorry, you guys can't really see my leaning in face. I suppose there's no reason for me not to attack with Death Shadow, because I'll just recast it. It's kind of giving it vigilance. Well, no, the reason is if they don't block, isn't it? Alright, I'll attack with Dread Horde. For the same reason, it's basically free. I think I'd rather draw a card. Cling to Dust seems perfect. Oh, I played the Sprite Dragon from my graveyard. Fuck. Not quite as free as I thought. Next turn we can deal with the Uro permanently. I have to do this because otherwise I'll die. That now needs an answer. Although Cling to Dust is pretty good. Well, okay, I think we might be finally losing. And it probably was the Yorion that's killed us. So that's quite interesting. Yeah. Well, let's eat the Aether Spellbomb and see what we... Oh, no, we know what we're drawing. We know what we're drawing. I topped the very ambitious TBR, feeling safer than we were, and learned the hard way. If this isn't a TBR matchup, maybe I'll just put a couple more grindy cards in and see how that plays out. Not sure this is correct, but we're going to keep it. Bauble me. We do not want a Tarn. Can't imagine I'm casting Stubbs, but makes sense to leave it up when we're playing Death Shadow as well. Few too many lands. We can't cast a 4-drop this turn, so we probably are just casting Sleight of Hand. See what's up. Hopefully it's not too busted. I'm not confident in that selection. I'll just put that one out there before you guys are like, Chris, that was bad. I know it could well have been bad, but I tried. This is super skill intensive. It feels like playing Legacy. Okay. Why wouldn't you play Euro? I don't get it. They're disincentivizing me from playing Lurrus. I've figured it out. Thoughtseize. I think I'd rather just draw like a creature. As good as Thoughtseize is. There's a creature. Damn fine one. Yeah, I don't currently have a good plan for this, so a bit scary. It'll be alright, we'll figure it out. How wrong can it possibly go? Bauble myself. Fatal push, that's a good one. So in that case, I want to play Blood Crypt. I want to play this. And pass with a shitload of really good interaction up. Just have to let this resolve. And then I can give myself revolt and push it. Yep, sad as that is, that resolves. Start trying to make some forward progress. Having been... It may have been bad to fetch that basic swamp then, but I was just like... If it doesn't go my way and they've got a 6/6, then it could be hell to pay. Does this block make a food? Growth Spiral? Ice Fang. Oof, that's bad for me. It's very bad. It's annoying that they've got an onboard answer, but I don't see me doing anything different to that. Dead Lurrus, yeah. And then Yorion's not great here, but it's a window where I've got no counter magic. X is 1, okay. Seems bad for me. Thinking about the fact that they would lose their goose and not have access to cryptic, I suppose. Okay. What's up? Show me your hand. This is one of the worst things I could have done. I've just added fuel to the fire. That's upsetting, isn't it? I wonder if they'll just do it now. Yeah, it makes sense to do it this way and then do it at end step, I suppose. Oh, very patient. Is this going to be the one from hand? No, the one from the graveyard. I wonder why they didn't tap the other basic island. Seems weird. Yeah. I did wonder whether I'd be allowed to disdainful stroke that, because obviously it's costing 4 to escape, but it makes sense that you can't, because obviously what's written up here. I'm not a judge. I don't know the rules really well. Sadly, I wish I did. I'm on 6. I should have played the fetch land first. That would have been the play. Play the fetch land, attack. They didn't block. I lost the game. This is terribly upsetting. If I'd played the fetch land first, they might have been forced to respect Battle Rage. Unfortunately, I fudged it. Now I'm dead. Poo! Poo, poo, poo. Why did it have to be engineered explosives? I could have beaten any other removal spell. There we go. Well, to be honest, guys, that was damn near an hour for one match. So, and I don't actually have time to do a full league, so I'm probably going to have to leave the video there. But there'll be more coming, I promise. I'm sorry it's been a big gap between videos, but yeah, rest assured I am trying to make them. I've had a few a few that I've attempted and haven't published for various reasons. So yeah, thank you all for watching. This Grixis deck is very cool and probably in better hands could do a lot of winning, but I tried my hardest, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you all next time.